I'm finally doing my August wrap up. So I've just been, slumpy in general and like not really participating in BookTube very much either. So I feel like that's why this video is super late. Um, I also, because I haven't been reading much, I feel like I haven't, when you don't read a lot, like what is there to talk about, right? So yeah, that's my problem. But I did want to announce first before I do the actual wrap up, which is going to be very short because I only finished 3 things. The winner for my giveaway for July. Right. I'm so confused because it's like almost the end of September. But so in July, I was giving away a copy of A Little Devil in America, which is my favorite book of the month of July. Only 2 people entered the giveaway, so I'm just going to give you each a copy because you know what? Screw it. So Seb and I think Amanda, you guys both get copies of the book. So just send me a message. Don't write down below. Don't put your address in the comments, obviously. Please send me a direct message. My Instagram, my Goodreads, my Storygraph, those are all linked below, and my Twitter are linked below, so you can just send me a message. I'm going to post a picture of the UK version and the US version. So tell me which one you want me to purchase for you. Personally, I'm really into the UK version and I kind of want to rebuy it for myself because I don't know if you guys remember when I was reading it. I was reading it at the hospital with a patient and the patient was like touching their feet and like touching their nose. And mostly the feet part is the most upsetting, and then like grabbed my book. Ugh. And the UK version is stunning. Oh my gosh. So I almost want to rebuy it for myself, but that's not at the top of my list of my priorities. But you tell me which one you want in your message that you send to me. All right, so books, again, I finished 3 things. I DNF'd, or I'm going to say unhauled, 1 thing because I didn't even really start it. And that's Hallelujah, a novella by Liz Shine. Let me see, is this, oh, this is not signed. That's like super, super weird because I definitely purchased this directly from the author. So as you know, I love to go to book fairs. I love to, support indies and smalls and whatever, all the things. Smalls, that's what I call small presses. And so sometimes, and I also don't like to hurt people's feelings, and I like to be supportive, and I'm just like yeah, you can do it kind of person. Like, good for you. I support you. As long as you're not, a gross person. And so this was a person that was selling their book, I think, at some book fair, whatever thing that I went to. And so I purchased it. I had a feeling that I wasn't going to really enjoy it based on the title and the cover and like the type, like look at all that space between the whatever. And, I don't know, maybe I would like it, but I just don't want to find out. I just don't care. I think I read like the first, the first sentence is, a person can drown in water, their own phlegm, or any substance other than air that fills up the lungs. It's just like, I just don't care. So I'm going to get rid of it. I'm sorry, Liz. I'm sure your book is probably just, just right for someone. That's not me. Besides that, I really, really liked all the books that I read in August. It was Women in Translation Month, so the 3 things that I have are women in translation. Obviously, I didn't get to the rest of my stack. And you're like, oh, Percival Everett. I understand. I don't know why that one's in that stack. It's good. Well, I know why. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So my least favorite of the month was the 3.5 star, and I really, really liked it. So I had a great month. Is Kusama by Elisa Macellari, Elisa Macellari. And this is translated by someone, Edward Fortes. Edward Fortes. And this is a Lawrence King publishing book. Wow, I cannot speak. This was super interesting. So this is about the artist Kusama. It's a graphic novel, I guess, graphic a graphic biography. Wow. Again, words are hard. And yeah, I really, really like this. I did not know much about Kusama. I will insert the clip of me in the Infinity Room. Oh, that was me in the Infinity Room at the Broad in LA. And they had other pieces of hers too, I think. But that's the one that I like, recorded or that I kept on my phone anyways. The art in this is spectacular. It's oh baby, like look at that. So yeah, it just like follows her life from her like being in Japan and then becoming an artist and just various bits and bobs. She was a wild woman. Wow, I just like opened a real wild time. She was all about getting naked and painting dots on people. I'd like to read a proper biography on her because I don't think that this does her life justice. Like this definitely feels like a highlight reel kind of. And so I would really like to learn more about her because she clearly struggled with a lot of mental health issues, but was just like a fascinating person. And just, I love her like drawing dots on naked bodies. I will say one of the things in here reminded me of when I was in high school. I used to do this. I don't know if any of you did, but I like on my paper, my doodles would just be drawing like circles over and over and over again. So I don't know if that says something about who I am as a person. But I like when I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I used to do that. And I would like write things out and then like just like tons and tons of little dots. Your hand gets tired after a while, but it was very comforting and relaxing to do that. So yes, I would super recommend this, especially if you haven't heard of her, because again, it's a really good like snippet of who she was or is. I don't know. She's not dead, but who she is as an artist and a person. So I would recommend that for sure. And then the next are both 4-star reads. Which one do I like less than the other? I guess we'll go with Mona first, and then we'll do the last one last. So Mona by Biscuits. I was gonna look up how to pronounce this. Give me a sec. Okay. Pola Olatsarak. Something like that. I'm sorry. I tried looking it up, but it already left my brain in the time that I came back to film. It's translated by Adam Morris, and this is Picador. This book was an absolute riot. So I went into this book knowing really like jack shit, excuse my language. I think I'm going to turn into a spicier booktuber now. I'm in my mid 30s. I can curse freely, right? So yeah, I purchased this purely as a cover buy. Again, I think that I purchased it while Nicola was in town. I don't really know, but I just like I needed it when I looked at it. And I didn't know anything about it because why would I look anything up? And then I saw someone talk trash on this book. I think it was well, trash is maybe an exaggeration, but it was just like one of their least favorite books of last year. And this is a person that I don't like typically watch. I think I did subscribe to her channel because she seemed really funny. I love people with hot takes. And yeah, she did not like this book. And so I was like intrigued more because, when people don't like things, I'm more intrigued by them because I want to know why. Why don't you like it? If I read Sally Rooney ever, it's because Adam hates her. Like that's the only reason I will ever pick up a Sally Rooney book. Just because Adam hates her. Does he? I don't know. Am I exaggerating? Anyways, the point is that this book was wild. So at first I almost did DNF it. I think someone I don't remember if it's in, I don't know if it's in this book. I don't know. I think there might be some like, no, I'm getting confused with a different book. Anyways, so we're following a woman who is a writer, and I don't remember how the plot starts. Dang it. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, I don't really quite remember how it starts, but she is she's Peruvian, and I don't remember is the author Peruvian? I thought she was Argentinian for some reason. I mean, oh boy, am I gonna have to pause this again? So she is Argentinian. The author is Argentinian. Paula is Argentinian. But Mona, the titular character, I think that's what people say, the main character of the book. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I am losing it. So the author is Argentinian. The author within the book is Peruvian. So that's why I just got a little confused, because she's Peruvian, the author. So anyways, she is an author. She's, you know, doing her thing, whatever. I feel like there's a little, like, I think that there's maybe like some explicit sexual bits at the beginning of the book, which, you know, are not like that great to read, just as a person who doesn't really like reading that. But yeah, she's just doing her thing. And then she gets invited to this prestigious like literary award conference, whatever thing, in Europe. I think it's in Scandinavia, but where? Sweden. She's in Sweden, and it's just like with a bunch of other authors, and they're all just pretentious. Just, it's so great. So it I did almost DNF it towards the beginning, and I think it was like the sexual stuff that kind of made me be like not interested. It felt very just like juvenile, kind of, if that makes any sense, like very like just trying to be outrageous for outrageousness' sake. But oh boy, it gets better and better, and I love a bunch of pretentious people like getting their dues. You know what I'm saying? No spoilers. I loved it. Okay, the ending, especially if you've read this book, you know what happens, and oh my gosh, it's like such a good ending. I don't really know what else to say about it, because it was a long time ago that I read it, but it was super enjoyable, super funny. I do think that you kind of have to like, you have to enjoy not liking your characters in order to read this book, because no one's particularly great in that book. And then my favorite book of the month of August was My Grandmother's Braid by Alina Bronsky, translated, oh boy, by Tim Moore, and this is a Europa edition, obviously. This was also so great. Also, unlikable characters. So I actually don't remember the plot of this book at all. Okay. Okay, now I remember. I should know these things. Anyways, this book was my favorite book of the month of August. The plot is following a young boy and his two grandparents, and they've fled Russia to Germany, I believe, as Jewish refugees, but they are not Jewish refugees. Although I think the young boy, I think his dad might be Jewish, actually, in retrospect. I don't remember what happened to his mom, but he's with his grandparents, his mother's parents. And the main plot of the book is that the grandfather kind of falls in love with another woman. And so it's like the merging is the wrong word, but like how that interaction happens between all of the people. So like how, you know, the grandmother and the young boy, and then the grandfather, and then he, you know, his mistress and her daughter, like how just kind of how everyone interacts with each other. And it's super, super funny. The reason that I love this book though is because the grandmother is a mess. Okay. She is a nasty, nasty woman. She is absolutely just an absolute riot. She is constantly talking about how stupid her grandson is. Like he's stupid. He's like, you know, he's sickly, you know, she's like constantly, she's basically, it's like Munchausen by proxy, except she's not like making him ill or anything, but she's like constantly telling everyone else that he's too weak to handle that. On his birthday, she buys like a giant cake, but he can't eat any of it. He can just look at it. She lets him sniff the cake, and then she eats the cake. It's honestly so funny. The character's not supposed to be a person that you like. I just like, personally, I find pleasure in reading characters that are like so terrible, and I don't know why. But yeah, she is so funny. There's like a specific scene where they go to the doctor and they're in Germany and she doesn't speak German that well, but the young boy is learning German and he's able to communicate. And then she is basically saying like, you don't know anything. Like, how can you tell me anything? Like, you're not smart enough to learn German, etc., etc. And it's so funny. And it sounds sad. And I understand, you know, being berated by your grandparent, your caregiver is not a good thing in real life, but it worked really well comedically in this book. And it kind of makes you like see why the grandfather would, you know, stray. So yeah, I thought this was an absolute riot of a book. Again, if you're into unlikable characters, etc. I don't really remember how it ends exactly. But I feel like the grandma becomes slightly less terrible, but again, that's not really the point of the book. I don't know what the point of the book was other than entertainment, so whatever. Anyways, yeah, so if you want a copy of My Grandmother's Braid by Alina Bronsky, translated by Tim Moore, leave a comment down below and let me know that you're interested. I loved this book. I thought it was really, really funny. 4 stars. So yeah, that was my month. Again, I did not get a lot of reading done, but that's okay. That's just how it goes sometimes. Talk to you guys later. Bye.